Thanks for being with me today. My name is Lorenzo and I'm here today to explain a bit the way the integration between QueueMetrics and Fusion works, especially from the point of view of the agents. One of the things that you get in QueueMetrics is a very powerful agent page that is meant to make the agent's life easier, and as the agents spend their whole day answering the phone, it is quite handy and will make them more productive and will give you more information on the way they work. One of the things that are sometimes not very easy in Fusion is the fact that you have to manage centrally the association between agents and queues. So you have to go to your application, so you define which queues you have for each of the queues, you define which agents are working on them, but it is not very easy to keep track of this from the point of view of what is the status of a complex system at a glance, and it is not very easy for agents to be aware of where they are working and what they are supposed to be doing. So QueueMetrics helps here because the QueueMetrics Agent Page lets you do a number of things. So let's log in. You'll see, if you have seen QueueMetrics before, you've seen that the agent page is totally different. So it's a very different view. If you are familiar to QueueMetrics, you can see that this is a self-contained environment that is meant for agents to be more productive. And the first thing they do when they log in the morning is to start work. Why would you want to have a system where agents start working and stop working? This is because this way you can track their presence, so you can, for example, measure how many calls per hour they took. If they are always available and they never start working and end working, it would be impossible to tell when they were actually available. As QueueMetrics already knows on which queues they are supposed to be working, they don't have to do anything. They just click on Start and they're going to be logged in. You can see their status is green. This means that they are active and they've been idle for the moment. They didn't take any calls since the start. From here they can do a number of things, so they can decide that they also need to work on a different queue. So for example, they could click here and join the other queue because the supervisor tells them so. Or the supervisor can do it manually from the supervisor interface and decide that, for example, there is need for some more agents on this queue, or there are too many people on this other queue, and so some are moved away. They're always aware of their current situation. The other thing they can do is that they can change their status, so they can decide they want to log off, but they can also decide that they need, for example, to go to lunch or set an hourly break. So they don't just go on pause, but from the point of view of a supervisor, you can see both in real time and in reports why they were on pause. So this is quite handy. At the moment they don't need to they need to go back to work. They just click on pause and there they are back to their own queues. So the bread and butter of what an agent does is basically taking calls, handling calls. So let's see the way QueueMetrics can help them. There is a special page that is meant for agents to see the status of their calls. You can see a list of the recent calls, and let's see what happens when a new call comes in. A new call is now connected, and you can see it appears here. So they can see the information about the caller, they can see when the call started, how long it's been waiting, the current duration, the queue it was handled on, plus a number of other things they can do. So for example, they can see an outcome. So for example, they can know that this is sale, for example, and the feature codes that there is more additional information that can be set. They can see information about the details of the call, the unique ID, the number of attempts that were made, the position, a lot of information about the specific call, variables and whatnot. And from here they can also do other things like label this interaction, or they can create a case, they can flag this interaction as interesting for further recall, they can create a recall memo and other things. And they can also, if it is set up so, you can also have a way to connect to a CRM. So the important information about the call are put in the CRM, are put in the URL, and a CRM is open, so you can connect to an external CRM here. This is quite handy because it lets them be very efficient, and they have all the information they need at a glance without looking at the phone or anything else. Another thing you can do from the agents page is to do outbound. We have seen in a previous video that it's possible to do outbound passively, so when a call has the correct numbers, then it is tracked as outbound automatically on a queue called outbound. But in the case of agents, we can do better, because it is very important for outbound not only to see that the call happened, but to keep them separated, because maybe they are working on different campaigns and you want to keep track separated by campaign. So this is quite easy to do in QueueMetrics. So you just join an outbound queue that is basically a normal queue from the point of view of Fusion. It's just needed as a placeholder to track outbound calls. And then you can go here, click dial, enter a number you want to call, and the number is being dialed. Your phone rings, and then the number is connected. If you go to the agent page, the CRM opens, and you can see that there is an outgoing call on outsales. That is different from outbound, that is the default one when no information is specified. So you can know that, for example, this was an outbound sale. Of course, you are free to set an outcome, so the person not interested, let's say. And this works so that in terms of reporting, it's very easy to go find this information. You can also do it. You can also schedule different activities to be made. So, for example, you can have a weekly plan, and you can, for example, have some calls that are meant to be recalled. So you can, for example, if somebody calls and you want to recall them in a few days, so you can schedule these calls on your calendar and automatically click and have them called at the right time. By the end of the shift, your agents can easily log off, so they just go here, select the queues they want to leave, and click here. Or the supervisor can do it for them if they, for example, they forgot. So this is very, very easy and very natural. So thanks for having been with me today. In the next video, we're going to see into more details the way outbound works, because there are more nuances that may be quite helpful for your handling of calls. And so see you in the next video. Thank you.